Hello, everybody. Late night, extra edition live of our normal show. Normally, we are rolling from 10 p.m. on Sunday through Thursday night. Sorry, just getting my brain in gear for tonight. Just got out from a full day of delivering. We did some streaming earlier today, did a morning stream and then like an afternoon stream. So just got in not more than about 15 minutes ago. So we want to wrap up our entire series that we've been doing. I'm not going to really hang around to see who's going to show up right away, just because this is not our normal time. And I tried to get word out a little bit ahead of time, but I totally understand that this is probably going to be more streamed on replay by people. But I wanted to finish this up. We've been talking this week about how to overcome failures, mistakes, mess ups, and not just in the gig delivery and entrepreneur world, but even in every area of our life. So we're not perfect people. We will make mistakes. And so I wanted to share with everyone a formula that I've been using to help me overcome my mistakes. And so we've taken time this week. We talked about, first of all, we need to fess up when we mess up. In other words, we need to take responsibility for the things that we have messed up. We need to take responsibility for the things that we've done wrong and understand that there are consequences that may come with that as well. So we talked about that. And then we talked about analyze to make you wise, how we need to figure out kind of the reason that the mistake happened. We talked specifically about our HALT triggers, HALT triggers, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and sick. Talked about that there's other triggers than those, but those are some of the most common ones that impact me and might impact you as well. And then we talked about 2 nights ago, internalize to adjust your eyes. So basically figuring out and answering the 3 main questions of what would you do differently, what changes do you need to make, and did you have unrealistic expectations for either a situation, or did you put unrealistic expectations on yourself or on people around you? So that's what we've done so far. Tonight, we are going to talk about liberate your future state. Okay, liberate your future state. We want to talk about freedom tonight and how we can achieve freedom from this. And we're talking freedom in both ways. So freedom from our past and freedom for our future. Gotta pull comments up. Caleb, hey, welcome. Yeah, today was a long, busy day. This is why I don't normally stream on Fridays. Hey, Too Evil, because I'm usually out delivering late. Stayed out till orders seemed to dry up tonight, and before I started having to run all around town to do McDonald's and Taco Bell runs. I just feel like you have to be in a certain state of mind to want to do McDonald's and Taco Bell drive-throughs from like 11 to 1, and I just wasn't quite there. So so we had multiple live streams earlier from delivery. I ended up with, well, I'm waiting, I have one pending tip to come through. I will show you this though, because I got a really high base pay order to end the night from Chipotle. Our Chipotle in town closed early, so it's 3107. I'm still waiting for 5 more, but here I'll show you. Here's the crazy part. So at the bottom here, I'm covering up addresses and stuff. You see the fare at the bottom? So there's still a pending tip. There's a pending $5 tip on this, but you see that fare, that base pay? This was for like a 5-mile delivery, $24.55. So that kind of, I mean, it was a great supper. I did over supper. I averaged $30 an hour over the 5 hours of supper tonight. So it was the best supper I've had in a long time. But this Chipotle, they told a bunch of their staff to not come in because it was so slow this morning, but then they got slammed for supper and they just didn't have enough staff to keep up, and they couldn't make food fast enough. So then they ended up just closing early. And so that base pay came with the final 2 orders of the day. I actually got their final 3 because there was also a DoorDash that I was in there for at the same time. So I got a DoorDash that paid like $9, and then this 36, and this was all like at I don't know what time was that, 9:15 to 10 o'clock. I had a 45 minutes where I basically made $45. I was making $1 a minute. So um, that was the end of the day. So that was, I'm still waiting to see. There's a, like I said, there's a one more pending $5 tip, but I met the guy. He was nice. I don't see any reason why something weird is going to happen. So anyway, I know we're probably going to be really low in terms of attendance tonight because I would be sleeping if it were up to me too. But I really did want to finish this and not carry this over into next week so we can kind of start fresh. And in the future weeks, I think I'll just, if it's a holiday night or whatever, I'll plan ahead a little bit better. So want to talk about liberating. All right, Eli, thanks for stopping in. I'm not expecting everybody, like, it's okay, you can watch this on replay. I'm going to kind of go through quick. If you guys have comments or questions, as always, I will get to those after we go through the basics. But here's the first thing. There is freedom in the sense of forgiveness, and we're not talking about when other people have hurt us. That's not the focus of this. This is talking about when we've messed up. So first of all, if you've messed up, you obviously early on, when we're fessing up to our mess up, we should be asking for forgiveness in there, and not just, again, like we talked about, not gaslighting. I'm sorry if I offended you, but I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that I did this. Being specific, taking blame, taking ownership. Okay. So that's one thing if it's someone directly that you hurt. But sometimes maybe it's not anyone directly that you hurt except for yourself. You just hurt yourself. And so part of this is, and part of a journey, I think, for a lot of people is learning to forgive yourself. Understanding that you're not perfect, and sometimes you're going to do things that are going to sabotage you. And that's the nature of it, that you just need to be able to say, look, I don't want to live in the pain of this mistake that I've made. I'm going to take the consequences that I'm due. I'm going to fess up. I'm going to own up. But once it's done, I'm going to forgive myself because I'm going to move on, because I don't want to keep reliving this portion of my life over and over and over again. So that's one thing that I would say with that. The other thing is, and this is just me personally interjecting, I believe that you can only truly find forgiveness in the deepest sense of the word, in the truest sense of the word, and in fixing your relationship with God through the person of Jesus. So I do care about your spiritual health and your spiritual well-being. I'm never going to tell you that you have to do anything spiritually, but I would encourage you to seek forgiveness from God in the person of Jesus as well, as part of your freeing process. So I'm not going to, we talked about that a little bit more a couple nights ago, so I'm not going to dig in super much there unless there's questions regarding that. But I think that realizing that you've been forgiven by someone greater than yourself is part of the means by which you can forgive yourself. Because if someone greater than you can forgive you, then you can forgive you. So then after we kind of experience the forgiveness from the past, that's the freedom from the past, right? If we talk about liberate, how do we get free from our past? Then we want to switch it around to, well, how do we stay free in the future? And we want to move on. We want to live in the new way, which we talked about on Sunday. But then very specifically, what are we seeking here? We're seeking heart and life transformation, not behavior modification. Okay. What I mean is this: we're seeking that, and to really be liberated and really be free, is it's not just learning what the rule is and now I'm going to abide by the new rules. I'm going to play by the rules so I won't make anybody upset again. That's not what we're going for here. It's not a rules-based thing. Hey, Trey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We're not talking about rules. We're not saying, in order to be free, I'm just going to follow all the rules so everyone's going to like me. In order to be free, I'm just not going to do it again, even though I want to. No, true freedom comes from when you can liberate yourself and say, look, I realize that what I did there was wrong. I don't want to make a mistake. and I'm going to live in a new way. Again, like I just talked about, I believe the easiest and best way to do that is through a relationship with God through the person of Jesus Christ. But even if that's not the direction that you want to go, I would still encourage you to say, like, just changing your behavior doesn't fix the root cause. And so the root cause is that there is probably something broken in your life that caused all this in the first place. We talked about analyzing the cause behind the failure. Wow, tongue tied. Analyzing the cause behind the failure. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, sick, but maybe also selfish, greedy, all those things. Hey, Presley, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Just got back about 20 minutes ago. So wanted to finish our stream for the week. I'm still waiting for one last final $5 Uber tip to come in. I'll give updates for those of you who were on the live ride along earlier, how the rest of the day went at the end here. But just simply saying I'm not going to do it again is not freedom, because then you're bound to this new set of rules of something that you can't do. What becomes freedom is when you start living and your whole life direction changes. And so when we're talking about liberation, it's a two-step, right? It's liberation from your past, that you're not going to keep beating yourself up over your old flaws, but it's also liberating for your future, where you're not going to make some of the same decisions that got you into this mistake, this failure, this thing that caused it in the first place. Okay. So that's what our channel goal is, and kind of what our thing is for you. Hey, by the way, there we go. There's the last $5 tip just came through. So, so my challenge to you as we kind of summarize this whole series, we have this acronym of FAIL to remind us of the things that we need to do when we fail, when we mess up, when we make a mistake. Fess up to your mess up, adjust your eyes, analyze to make you wise, internalize to adjust your eyes, and liberate your future state. Okay. And if you can remember these four things, this is the whole process that we want to be encouraging, challenging, stretching, pushing you through, so that way you're not getting stuck in the same place over and over again, that we're actually growing through this. Now, this doesn't mean that you're never going to make another mistake. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, if you start to make the mistake, if you start to slide downhill, do you have the tools in your toolbox to catch yourself before you go as far down as you did the previous time? Do you have the tools in your toolbox to quickly ask for forgiveness, to quickly make that change, to quickly repent, to quickly turn around? Do you have the tools in your toolbox that you need to analyze why things happened and to make sure it's less likely to happen the next time? Do you have the tools? Basically, this whole idea is like you're trying to build a toolbox, so that way you're staying focused on what your life mission is. Because ultimately, this is what happens. All these failures and mistakes and mess ups, if they're not just innocent things, like you're trying something new and it just didn't work the first time, okay, you can still go through this process, but then this goes beyond that. This is going to the place of, why would you want to sabotage yourself for the very things that you say you yourself are all about, and the very things that you care most about? And I don't want you to be sabotaging, because I believe all of you have a greater mission, something bigger than just yourself, that you can accomplish, that you have people that you can bless, you have lives that you can change, you have hope that you can spread. And if you get caught up in the same mistakes over and over and over, what's going to happen to you is some of the same things that happened to me, is that I couldn't break out. I couldn't break out past my past failings, because either I would cycle through them over and over again, or I would just wallow in self-pity. And I'm blessed and thankful that God's given me freedom over some of these things. And I hope that this process that we've kind of talked through, and if you've missed any of the streams, they're all posted. You can just click under the live tab, and they all have the same thumbnail to make it nice and easy for you. Okay, so and you'll just see they're all from this week, and so they all have the big fail. So it's 5 in a row, and then there's other lives interjected in there, but you can just watch the whole thing if you missed any of the episodes to get the broader picture. But the whole goal of this channel is freedom, and to move you from poor in every area of your life to rich in every area of your life. And whatever areas you are finding yourself prone to making mistakes, I want you to be rich. And the way to be rich in the area of overcoming mistakes is that in forgiveness and then liberating yourself for your future and that freedom that you can find. So that's really what I just want to kind of challenge you, wrap things up with. I'm not going to go super deep. I see at least one question, but we'll just kind of do this. What are you drinking tonight? I am just drinking water because I'm going right to bed. I did have a little bit of pizza right before the live stream, but I'm zonked. Kudos to those of you who go out and do 12-hour delivery days, 7 days a week, because I mean I'm doing close to that this week, and I mean it's Friday night and I'm zonked. I don't like this feeling, but I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna try to do a full day tomorrow, and found out that I actually have some Sunday morning commitments, so I won't be out full day on Sunday, which is actually part of the reason why I came in a little bit earlier rather than pushing super hard tonight, just not only to do the stream, but also so I can get some sleep and hopefully be up early enough tomorrow. So let me know in the comments what you're drinking, and for those of you catching this on replay, that's fine. You can comment there as well. And just kind of comment as you're following along, just kind of like in the same exact way. So I just see one question, and again, that's perfectly fine. What do you think when people say wage slavery? I think, I don't know if I'm going to give you the answer that you really want. I'm going to come right back to that too, Evo. Thank you, Tommy Thunder. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Yeah, remember to like, comment, subscribe, or Tommy Thunder is going to come after you. So if you guys haven't hit that like button, that subscribe button yet, make sure you do that before we go. So, but yeah, let me get back to Two Evil's question here. I think I don't want to dig in too deep because I know I'm tired and I don't want to say something that would not be wise to say. Trey's drinking water tonight. Bottle of water for Trey. Here's how I want to say it. I think a lot of people are not willing to put in the work that is needed to break out of the normal wage being paid by a business trap. One of the best ways to become independently wealthy is by starting your own business. But most people are not willing to double up and do a full-time 40-hour-a-week job and then spend another 40 hours a week on a side hustle to develop into a business, to develop into a primary income. Okay. Most people are just not willing to do that. And if you're not willing to do that, then you have one choice, which is to climb the corporate ladder. Okay. Maybe you have two choices. You can play the lottery. You can climb the corporate ladder and play the lottery. But the only way that I would consider wage slavery a real thing is if you didn't have opportunities outside of your normal job to create income for yourself. And part of this channel's goal is to show you that even if you have nothing extra, what if you went out and delivered for 3 hours for supper? What if you gave up your supper time every night, 5 days a week? What if, whatever, pick 5 days a week, go out for supper. I think in most markets, if you gave 4 hours, you should be able to get $50 to $75 in 4 hours. I realize that's not a ton of dollars per hour, but I think if you get better at it, you can improve that and get much higher than that. But if you're willing to put in the work, there are ways to increase your income streams. And then, so 5 nights a week, you make an extra $50. And I think it could be more than that, but I'm going super, super conservative, thinking someone who's in a smaller market, someone who is maybe a little bit timid, not quite sure how to do all this stuff, just learning. Maybe you don't have a ton of great restaurants. You're just kind of doing more of the McDonald's and fast foody type of stuff. Okay. So if you can make $50 5 nights a week, that's an extra $250 a week. Take out $50 for gas and other expenses and stuff like that. So you got an extra $200 a week. Then, if you could take that $200 that you make, that's extra money beyond what you want, and then go spend it at garage sales and thrift stores and estate sales and Walmart clearance, and you can go out and buy, say, $200 worth of product that you can then sell for $400, and then you clear $300. Okay, and maybe that takes a month to cycle through all that, but you're still doing that $50 a night, 5 nights a week. So you get an extra $200, and then at the end of the month, you can turn that 200 into 300, right? And let's say it takes 6 weeks to do it. If you can make $200 in food delivery 5 nights a week, then go thrift, resale, and then that doesn't even count like your own personal stuff that you're also selling and clearing and moving out. Then every week you can take that 200 and turn it into 300, or at least buy product that you can then eventually turn into 300. And then every 6 weeks that 200 returns to you as 300, plus you keep making the 200, and now you're building this cycle where you are building an income stream for yourself. And so now you're no longer a slave to whatever wage is being promised to you by your work, because you've built a separate income stream. And maybe all you do is, like, on the 2 days that you don't do food delivery, you just spend those 2 hours going out to your thrift stores, or you just say, I'm going to reserve Saturday morning for garage selling. I'm not scheduling anything else. I'm just going to do garage sales and thrift stores on Saturday mornings. And what I find, I find. And what I don't spend, that just goes into next week's pool. So I have more money if I make a big find. The other side of this is a lot of people get stuck where they are in their job. Sometimes it's politics, and I get that. You can't do that. But what are you bringing to the market, right? So you have to ask yourself this question, which is, what am I bringing to the market? You as a person, I believe, are of tremendous, perhaps infinite value, right? You as a person existing, that God would send his only son to die for you, shows that you have personal worth. But to the market, your worth is determined to the market only here by what you bring. So what do you bring? When you show up to work, do you show up and do the bare minimum, or do you excel, right? Do you find solutions to problems, or do you just point out all the problems at your work? Are you someone who goes to work and blesses your coworkers and blesses your boss and blesses those who are under you? Or do you demean those who are under you, ignore those who are your coworkers, and then speak bad about your boss behind his back? See, a lot of people, they create their own prison because that's where they really want to be. And a lot of times people don't really realize that, and despite what they say, every one of their actions is in line with the fact that this is what I want. And if how you're working and the money you're making isn't what you want, then you've got to say, then why am I not getting what I want? And most likely the answer is because you're bringing the bare minimum to the market. Okay. Now, are there places, in other parts of the world where people are literally slaves working for wages? Yes. But if we're talking in the context of the American market, it is crazy that you can anything. Try it. Whatever your passion is, try it. It might take a while to be monetized, but just yesterday we supported kids at a lemonade stand. I mean, who's to say that you as an adult, if you need some side hustle money, you have nothing else to do, start a lemonade stand. Start a lemonade stand with your kids, or start a little home kitchen thing. There are just an enormous amount of potential ways to make income, many of which involve nothing more than either this device or the computer that you're watching on, access to the internet, doing some research, and then going putting grunt work in. Okay. You can accomplish all sorts of things, and you can do it starting with nothing. Starting with $0, you can make money out of nothing. It's one of the craziest times in history that you can, if you do the research and if you can find the right niche for you can literally just start creating money out of whatever it is that you want to do if you can figure out your path and your trajectory to monetizing it. So if you are not happy with the wages that you are receiving, I would just highly, highly encourage you. First of all, subscribe to this channel because that's what we want to help you break out of. But you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. And maybe you sacrifice for a year. I'm telling you, if you are out there and you are not married, if you are single, I was single into my 30s, and I look back and I regret how much time I didn't put into really building alternate extra streams of income. I mean, I was posting silly videos on YouTube back in 2008, 2009, 2010. And I never even imagined, about monetization or things like that. So if you're young and you don't have a lot of responsibilities and you don't have a family, do it for your future. Do it for your future family. Do it for your future you, and just start something. Try something. And if the thing you try, okay, if the thing you try doesn't get there, then try something else. You have the time to do that. Um, and honestly, if you don't like your job, start searching for a new job. If you don't feel like you're being paid what you're worth, first of all, try to prove it to who's paying you. You know, go above and beyond. I've heard stories about people who just start entry level and they just go above and beyond and they ignore all the different things that people say and the critics and everything. And then they would just work their way up into, upper levels of management. It's possible and it is doable. So that's what I would encourage you is don't if you feel like you're a wage slave, then find your way out of your prison. Find your freedom. And it's probably going to come through lots of hard work, lots of elbow grease, lots of grit, lots of extra hours, a lot less scrolling YouTube, a lot less watching TV, a lot less going out and partying, and a lot more just saying, this is my future that I see in front of me, and I don't want my future in 30 years from now to be my present today. I want something bigger and greater. Because if you're not tied down with family, now I love my family, okay? But I can't just go off for like 3 months and earn a bunch of money. I can't do that. And so find ways, and we're here to help you explore different ways that you can do that and how you can take one stream and use it to increase a little bit more. But there's not even any way in the world I could talk about different side hustles every day of the year, and in the next 10 years I still couldn't cover every possible way that you can make money. This is so Eli, this is as far back as I can go. I'm tired. I'm beat, but hopefully you get the thoughts of that. Eli wants 15 likes. I don't know if we're going to get that on live, but help Eli out if you're watching this on replay, because I know we're missing a lot of our regulars tonight, but I knew that was going to be the case. So Trey quitted from a 19-year-old career. Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably mixed feelings there, right? But here's the crazy thing, and took me a long time to learn this, because like I was involved with churches and gave my heart and soul to them for years. The first church I was at was like a decade. I was there. And when I decided it was time to go, like I was still loved and I was still cared for. But you know what? They moved on without me. Your business will move on without you. And so the only question is can you move on without that business? And I don't necessarily encourage you to just quit, because you're fed up with your business, you're fed up with like that. But if you want a way out, then start building your way out today. start building that side income stream, start building that side hustle, and that's what we're going to keep covering in here, and build your freedom instead of doing that. Eli, I don't think this stream is going much longer anyway. I think we're just about done. So I definitely want to encourage all of you, but like, don't, if you feel like you're a prisoner to how much money you can earn, then you need to break out of the prison. Good night, Eli. Thanks for hanging out. And again, that's what I always say. Like, that's the issue with like gig delivery stuff, is because there is a cap. You know, I mean, I had a pretty good day. Wasn't an amazing day, but I had like a $230 day. Now that all the tips are in, I know what I did. And $230 in about 11 hours of work. That's a pretty good day. I made more money than a lot of people made today. But how much better can it get? I mean, you know, maybe get an extra 30, 40, $50, but not that much more. There's a cap, right? So I don't want food delivery to be your cap. I want food delivery to be like your baseline, or your side hustle money that you can then start investing into other sort of business things. And even if they fail, well, then it's just side hustle money. So it's not like it's your main income stream. So we'll talk a lot more about that in the coming weeks ahead. Quick little channel update. There are lots of ride along live streams. I know they get kind of long if you're not actually live with you, but I'm going to try to do that as much as possible right now for about 3 different reasons. Reason one is, and it's probably the most important reason, I love getting to meet new people, and we just have new people popping in all the time when we do vertical live streams with the ride-alongs, and we get people who are interested in side hustle stuff, people who are currently drivers, people who used to be drivers, people who just want to have questions. Like, we just had a random guy who came on this morning and was just asking about dealing with suicide rates with students going to school in India. I mean, just looking for somebody to talk to, and we were just able to be there and just talk through that with him. So I like kind of that, getting to meet different people. 2, it's a great way of showing in real time and teaching in real time some of the principles we talk about in these streams. And so it's like I can be like, okay, this is why, this is what this looks like. Here's how I made this decision. Not that I always make the right decision, but in real time, you can see kind of what it's like. And then the third reason, which is kind of an important reason for the goals of this channel, but it's not really like, it's not the focus, but it's watch hours for this channel. So we do have a channel goal of getting to 3,000 watch hours, so we can start doing super chats and memberships and stuff like that. As of stream time, we're at 1678, so we are looking for 1,322 more watch hours. Some days, Trey, I've learned to work smart. So, work smarter, not harder. Like, that's for sure. Like, you're trying to just, you need to start thinking multiplication instead of addition. Okay, so if you're stuck in a wage trap, if you're stuck in a money trap, you need to say, how can I 10x? Okay, how can I 10x my income? And I thought about that. I was asking myself this question in like November, December. How do I 10x food delivery? If you're making $100 a week in food delivery, I can teach you how to 10x that. But I was already making like $1,000 a week. So how do I 10x my food delivery? And the only solution I could come up with was to figure out how to monetize YouTube and still do the food delivery, and figure out ways to teach other people, help other people, without having to give up what I'm already doing. And so that's what we're working towards, and that's what we've been developing on this channel. It's like, that's the only way I could come up with. Now, there might be other ways to 10x my income without doing food delivery, but that was the best solution I came up with for that. And that's why in January, I took this channel that's been existing on YouTube for a long time, but then actually put it into place as a side of hustle, and been trying to maximize all of the goals of this channel, and give as much away as possible for free, and then just invite people to come on and support. So a thank you to my Patreons. We've got both free and paid Patreon supporters for this channel. So want to thank especially Lisa and Trey for being a couple of our first paid Patreons. I appreciate you guys so much. And others of you, I know, I don't know, it's hard, it doesn't bring up the whole list here, but we've got others who are free Patreons. And so we just appreciate like the support of the channel. We've got people who are supporting the channel through the Upside app, and I can throw that link in the description. It's hard to do stuff during the live streams, but here I can, it's pretty easy to throw it up on. So if you're looking to save money on gas, get cash back on gas with Upside, this is the link that we have for that. And these are just all little things that I'm doing. We've got other potential income streams that we're going to be developing, but I'm not just doing it to develop an income stream. I'm doing it to develop an income stream to fulfill the mission and the goal of this channel of helping 10,000 people move from stupid broke to self-defined millionaires, being poor in every area of your life to rich in every area of your life. And so I'm not here to do it for the money, but I know it takes money to accomplish the mission. And so that's why we're doing this, but I'm also teaching you because I would love it if every one of you started a YouTube channel and we're monetized for YouTube and we're all sitting back becoming YouTube millionaires. How cool would that be? Like, this is not a zero-sum game where in order for me to win, I have to push a bunch of other people down. I think it's in fact just the opposite. I think the more awesome, Trey, thank you so much. So give it a try, see if it works in your area. Areas doesn't work as well. I filled up tonight. I got 24 cents a gallon cash back tonight. So I filled up right before. I always encourage people fill up right before you go home. So that way when I go out to deliver tomorrow morning, it's ready to go. I don't have to waste any time. I can just go out and deliver, and now I have a full tank of gas for my full day of delivery tomorrow. So thank you. And so thank you for all patrons, Patreon supporters, patrons. Thank you for Upside people. And then we've got other support channel opportunities that are going to be coming soon. And so we're going to be working through that. But I also want to be helping you guys in the process, that we're all rising together. Like I'm not here to win and push you down. I'm here to push you up, and that we all win together. Help you guys, lend the helping hand, answer as many questions as I can. And as we start getting into deeper topics, I'm going to figure out ways to bring on some of my friends who have been doing some of these things. I mean, I'm in contact with people who have sold tens of millions of dollars on Amazon, you know, and started with just buying stuff at Walmart and Target to resell. Like, it's a real thing that I've witnessed real people do in real life, in real time. And so we want to help you whatever kind of direction you want to go, and I'll bring you as far as I can. And yes, be mindful. I always check for credit card skimmers too when you fill up. So good reminder to anybody who is, anytime you gas up. So I've got my handful of stations that I trust pretty well, but I always check for credit card skimmers as well. So as well as how they pump and how they add things up. So I try to pay attention. I know how much gas goes in my tank and make sure everything lines up well. But that's a good reminder. So thank you, Trey. So that's it. Well, I think we're going to end it here because I'm tired. We will be back Sunday. We're going to talk Sunday through Thursday next week. Our topic, I might refine it a little bit more over the weekend, but essentially it's going to be what does the ultimate gig delivery driver look like? Not talking about physical features, of course, here. We're just talking about what are the characteristics? What are the things that you need to do? And we kind of set the standard here that your baseline service should be better than 90% of the drivers in your community. So what does that look like? What is better than 90% of the drivers out there? And so we're going to try to kind of form this demographic. And I think we're going to actually kind of maybe reverse it. Instead of me just saying these are the things, I think I want to crowdsource a bunch of ideas, and then as we go through the week, narrow it down, and then we'll kind of do like the big reveal on Thursday next week. So that is the plan for upcoming, and then I hope to have more long form edited videos coming out next week as well. So I just wanted to take advantage of as much food delivery 4th of July week as possible, because there's no holiday on the calendar, no major like day off holiday like federal holiday till Labor Day. So it's like almost 2 months. So I want to do that. But thank you all for hanging out. There's definitely a good chance of there being a live stream, a live ride along tomorrow, either late morning or afternoon again. So not a guarantee. I'm never guaranteeing them, and I'm never predicting them. I'm just going to go live. And as always, just feel free to come in, say hi for 2 minutes, or hang out for 2 hours, like whatever works for your schedule. I love just seeing all you guys. Appreciate all the time. Appreciate all the support for this little channel. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do so on your way out. And also, if you're on replay, it helps. I was noticing today, I don't know if I can show you right now, because I'm becoming like an analytics geek here. But I guess it's not showing. But even like this afternoon, I was noticing old ride-alongs and stuff are they show up and people watching and stuff. Hey Trey, have a great family get together tomorrow. Like I said, I just go live on the ride-alongs when it just feels like it's the right time. Like I got to be in the right mental state and not super busy, like not overwhelmed with orders, but not so slow that there's nothing to watch and talk about. So anyway, you can just always check. You can also hit that notification bell if you ever want to be notified when I'm coming on. But our next scheduled evening stream will be Sunday through Thursday next week, 10 p.m. Eastern. Okay? So thank you so much. Have a great night. I look forward to coming back energized and ready to go Sunday night with all of you. Have a great night.